Hello everyone, welcome back. So today we're going to talk about fuel caps for Coleman stoves, Coleman lanterns. So basically there's three types, okay? You have this, which is called a three-piece, that has this little hole in the side here. Then they developed this one, which is also a three-piece, but it has these slots. Then the next generation was a one-piece that still has the slots. Now, the history behind these are this hole, where are we, was supposed to let the pressure out. But what ended up happening was it was letting out fuel because the fuel is pressurized, right? And there was a lawsuit against Coleman because a family was camping and I guess the dad or somebody opened up the fuel cap and the fuel splurted out and that hole was facing up and it burnt a little girl. Yeah, so Coleman got sued. So they changed this design to this one without the hole and these slots, so it directed the fuel down. So let me just tell you a couple safety things. Number one, when you're working on any type of lantern that you just got or you're restoring, have a fire extinguisher near you, okay? Because you can seriously hurt yourself. You could cause a fire, and none of that stuff is good, okay? So what they recommend is if you have one of these older style ones, to replace it with a solid one while you're using it, okay? And then keep the old one, you know, for display purposes, or keep it with the lantern so it's original. I mean, that's the recommendation. I personally keep the fuel cap with the lantern it came with. I just make sure I never depressurize it while it's lit or while it's hot. You know, so common sense isn't so common anymore. So, you know, things kind of got to have warning labels. Contents is hot. All right, so what I'm going to show you how to do today is to take apart a three-piece fuel cap and to remove the gasket and replace a new one. So the seal is called a gasket. This is actually from a project I'm working on, so I'm going to do this one. So now you can get the gaskets from old Coleman parts, and they're pretty inexpensive. I think they're like $1.25 a piece for one, okay? So let me set this up and I'll be right back. All right, so what I have here is a fount that came off of a lantern I needed parts for, and this was repainted by somebody, and yeah, they didn't do a very good job. It's got a bunch of dents and stuff in it, so basically I use this for whatever reason I need to use something. So for today we're going to put this fuel cap on, and you're going to want to put some pressure on that, very, very tight. Then you're going to get yourself a nice slotted screwdriver, one that fits that screw very tightly, because you don't want, you know, you always use the right size screwdriver for the job. Start turning it. Now I could feel the insert is turning. So that means I don't have it tight enough. So I'll just grab a little piece of leather like this. And be very, very careful. I mean, unless you're refinishing it, then you don't have to worry about it, but be careful you don't scratch the fount or damage the knurling on the fuel cap. So I'm going to snug that down, and we'll try again. Nope. Now sometimes you have to actually heat these up, which of course is going to ruin your paint job. I just go as tight as I need to until I hear the little snap. Oh, man, this one's going to fight me. Yeah, that one's going to fight me. Might have to add a little WD-40, but we'll keep going. There you go. Did you hear that little snap? So you remove the screw. Now obviously I'm not going to be able to turn that out with my hand since I used the channel locks to get it in. So we'll loosen this up. And there's the insert, okay? So let's get this out of the side. Now, that gasket is pretty disintegrated. It's hard as a rock. This is actually brass, even though it looks like there's some rust on there. It's not actually rust. So I'm not going to do this one right now because I don't have enough gaskets. I only have one left. And since I'm working on this project, we're going to do it on this insert. But that's the same insert, okay? So now what you want to do is you want to have yourself a metal can with water in it. Then you get yourself a torch. I don't know if you could see that, but it's starting to swell it up and burn it, and it's popping up, right? If you could see that right there. Alright, so now you saw that glowing. Basically, we disintegrated it. So we get our water here, and we just dump it in. Now we can get it out. A lot of it has already been removed. Let me get a... Now you're going to get, if you have access to a little set like this, it's great. Now, this is metal, steel, this is brass. So don't go crazy with this, but you just want to start to prick out the remainder that's in there. And I like to just dip it back in the water to get it to flow out. Then I like to grab, I always have some type of skewers around, which are wood, and I'll get in there and I can get a little bit more aggressive. get all that black burnt stuff out. Alright, so now at this point you could put your new gasket in, but I like to clean this. And to clean this, all I do is I get some navel jelly. In this case, it's Rust-Oleum Rust Dissolver Jelly. And you should wear protection on your hands, but I don't have any with me right now. So just get it all in that groove. I got water here. I'll rinse off my hand real quick. Put that back. Clean off my brush. And just let that sit for a couple minutes. And I'll bring you back. Alright, so it literally has been sitting for about maybe a minute and a half, 2 minutes. And you're going to want to start to use that wood skewer. Go in there. Continue to clean around. Okay. Dip it in the water. Take a look at it, make sure you don't see any very thick parts left in there. You could come back with the metal. Just again, don't go too aggressive. So at this point, it's ready to put another gasket in, okay? I like to take it a step further. Let me grab a wire brush. Alright, so I have one of these very, very fine brass wire brush. I actually get these from Brownells. And I'll take this, let me take my glove off because the navel jelly's off of it. And I'll just give it a try to get a couple of the bristles down into the slot. Okay, I'm going to call that good. Get a little bit more shine on here. The metal ones are a little bit more tricky to clean because if they have corrosion on them. I've had some that I had to just get rid of. They were just so nasty and so pitted. Alright, we're going to call that good. So now let me blow this off. I'm just going to blow it off with some compressed air and I'll be back. Alright, so we have that all cleaned up and dried off. Now, they are a couple different kinds of gaskets. Some people call them washers. This type, this thicker one, is for the one piece. The one piece is a little bit more tricky, and if you have to burn it, you're obviously going to ruin your finish, okay? But what you could do is you have to try to grab it. I'm not going to do it on this one, but you could try to grab it with a similar little hook like this and pry it out, okay, because it's in there. If you can't get it out, you could try some WD-40, and it's tedious. You just got to kind of pick at it, okay? And then when you put this one in, you got to use some WD-40, and you got to really, really try to get it in there. But what I'll do is I'll turn this way to press it in. But if anybody wants to see that, we could do that in the future. But we're working on this three-piece. So the three-piece has this gasket, which is simple. Just slip it over. And again, I like to use this round part and just seat it in there. And just make sure you get it like this. Has a little lip on it here. We'll push that down. Get it in as tight as we can. Okay, now we'll take the fount, place that on top. We'll get our fuel cap, put that on. Okay, where's our screw? Take this screw out for now. Put your screw in so it stays aligned, and then crank it down. I like to leave it there a couple minutes before I take it off to kind of get it set in. So I'll bring you back. Alright, so it's been in there a few minutes. Also, you want to tighten that down and then tighten that screw down, okay? Don't go crazy with that screw because it's never going to touch the bottom. Hopefully you can see that. There's going to be a space in there, and that's the way it's supposed to be. You'll hear it rattle in there. That's a proper fit, okay? So let me take this out so I can show you. And that's the way it looks when it's properly seated. As you can see, there's nothing sticking up over the edge. It's properly seated all the way around. It's nice and flat and level. If it's not, you gotta do some poking. So that's how you change the gasket in a three-piece filler cap. And like I said, this one is just sometimes brute force. I mean, you got to get in there and really get it out. Now, if you're doing a restoration and you're going to repaint the filler cap, well, then you could just heat it up and, you know, burn it out. But I have not found one yet that I couldn't coax out with a pick and a little WD-40. So there you have it. Like I said, you can pick these up at old Coleman parts, $1.25 a piece, and it just look up gasket and you'll see it'll have pictures. It'll say if you have this one, it'll show you a picture of these three. That's a three-piece. I think it's a S42. Don't quote me on that. And then it says if you have a one-piece, it's this one, and it'll show you this gasket. I think that might be an S41 or something like that. But it's very easy to identify, and it's $1.25 each with free shipping. So, you know, I buy like 4 or 5 at a time, and it ships free. Like I ordered 4 of them last night. I don't know why I just picked the number 4, but I ordered 4 of them. It cost me $5 and free shipping. So there you have it. Hopefully that helps you out if you want to change your gasket. And again, just use all precautions and some common sense. Have a fire extinguisher with you. If you're testing out, these older fuel caps, and you should be all right. So thanks for coming along, everyone. You know I'm going to say it. I'm sending you all much, much love and appreciation, my brothers and sisters. I hope you all are doing well. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and we'll see you on the next one.